What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex from IronInfidel.com. We just released the new and improved Battle Bottle 2.0. This is the last bottle you will ever need. It's 2 liters, stainless steel, comes with a nylon sleeve that has pouches for your phone, your keys, your wallet. It's got a paracord grab handle. You can take this thing to the range, to the gym, out hiking, camping, on patrol, everywhere. It's just an awesome water bottle. Like I said, the last bottle you'll ever need. The reason I like it so much is because when I would go to the gym, dropping my keys, my phone, my wallet out of my pockets next to the squat rack, and then I forget them, they get stolen. This is an all-in-one unit. Comes in both camo patterns, black and standard camo. Guys, I wasn't planning on making this video, but I'm already out here a little bit early at Mike's range, and I figured I would take advantage of time and talk about the new trigger I've been using, and also kind of just talk about triggers in general and my thought process behind upgrading a trigger. So the trigger I have been using for the majority of the time on this channel is the standard trigger that comes with a BCM. It's the PNT, I think, and I think that ranges somewhere between 6 and 7 pounds of weight, and I never swapped out a trigger, and it was the last thing I wanted to swap out because with police departments, typically they have policy that prohibits you from swapping out your trigger, or if you do, it has to be a minimum pull weight. So a trigger like this, which is the Blackout Defense Zero trigger, is a 3.5 pound pull weight or a 4.5 depending on what you get. So I would never be able to use anything like this. And if I can't use it on patrol, I want consistency. So I don't want to get accustomed to some type of trigger that I can't actually use when I'm going out on patrol or going out, you know, for work purposes. So I always avoided upgrading a trigger. I don't have that problem anymore. So I've been trigger shopping for quite some time. And then I met the guys over at Blackout Defense at SHOT Show, talked to them a bit. He sent me out the Zero trigger. This drop-in unit, single stage trigger, and by drop-in I really mean it's drop-in. It's super easy to install. Couldn't be more than 20 minutes, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not one of these guys who's, you know, super into firearms, taking them apart, changing things out, upgrading them. That's just not my thing. I don't have even all that much knowledge about it. So if I can do it, I guarantee you guys can do it. It is $200 to $250 depending on what you get, and it's 3.5 pound to 4.5 pound trigger. I will divert the conversation away from the trigger again, guys, one more time. A 3.5 pound to 4.5 pound trigger. The reason police departments don't allow their cops to do this is because they make policies that are just blanket policies, right? They have to fit the worst cop all the way to the best cop. So they want to make sure everybody is operating within that policy. So they make it where you can have a trigger like this. You know, you have to have your standard, I don't really remember what it was, but let's say 7 pounds being the trigger pull weight, and they'll test that at quals to make sure you haven't adjusted or altered or swapped out your trigger. And the reason for that is because they don't want cops going out in high stress situations, you know, getting scared, getting nervous, and then have a super light trigger when their adrenaline's going and then have an ND. And their thought process behind it is because when you are having an adrenaline dump, then all that blood is rushing away from your extremities and you start losing those fine motor skills, and then you might actually have an ND. So that's why they do that, and that's why I have no experience with these type of triggers. Not no, but just limited. So the Zero trigger itself, this is made by Tom from Blackout Defense. He is an aerospace engineer. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but you can tell by the way he crafts this thing that it's made to perfection. It is an absolutely amazing trigger. And I'll just kind of show you. The reason they call it the Zero trigger is because there's absolutely zero take up before this thing breaks. I mean, literally nothing. It just breaks. And then there's a little bit back, and you're back on the wall. And you probably can't see it all that great right now, so I'll run some B-roll, and I'll probably do some shooting in B-roll and throw it over top. The reason I don't want to shoot right now is because I don't think Mike knows that we're here at his ranch, and I don't want to start cranking off rounds because it's pretty early, spook him, and Mike's the last guy I would want to come up on me. 3.5 pounds, just focus on the trigger right here. There is just nothing else like this that I've tried on the market. I have tried Geysers and things like that. Those are great as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dogging on those by any means, but this one is just amazing. I couldn't be happier with it, to be honest with you guys. So that is the Blackout Defense trigger. Is it going to make you a better shooter right out of the gate? Not really. No, not really. There's nothing you can throw on your rifle that's going to make you a significantly better shooter right out of the gate. Doesn't matter how much money you spend, what you put on your rifle, you're not going to be all that much better. I wish you could, because then I'd probably spend some money to be a better shooter, but unfortunately that's not the case. But triggers like this, they can help you in some things. Like if you're trying to throw together 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds in rapid succession, then it's just easier to do with a trigger like this. So what you really need to do is find out what you're building your rifle for, and if you need that type of improvement upon your shooting. Is it something that you really need or something that you want? Because sometimes wanting is enough to fork out that cash. If it is, then yeah, I would give the Zero Trigger a look. It's fantastic. I'm a little bit spoiled now. I kind of wish he didn't give it to me because I was spending all these years trying to avoid a trigger like this just so I would stay accustomed to that, you know, mil-spec style trigger that's on a Colt M4 lower or even my BCM. But I've been ruined. Thank you, Tom. You told me you would ruin me and you did. But yeah, it really just depends on what you're using it for. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry, this was an impromptu video. I was kind of just rambling all over the place. Hopefully you learned something. Head over to Tactical Considerations channel if you're really looking for the nuts and bolts and the details, how to install this and what exactly goes into it. That's all I've got. Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate your support as always. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe button. If you are in the market for a Zero Trigger, I do have a link for it down below, 10% off. So 10% off of $200 is $20. 10% off of $250 is $25.